Hey there, once again, Wildcat fans. Welcome back. Another LC Coaches Show coming at you full bore into the abyss, right? I'm Brad Welburn, glad to be your host once again as we talk some LC football with LC football head coach Justin Charles. And it's a big week this week. It's homecoming. Got lots of stuff going on around campus. Of course, centerpiece of it kind of is the football game Saturday night, which we'll get into in just a few minutes. But first, as we do, we kind of talk about last week and road trip over there to Texas Lutheran. And, you know, like we talked about last week, it was a game where certainly we thought we had a really good chance to get a win, a needed win for sure. Fortunately, things don't always work out like we hope and plan and you know, try to do. So I guess overall first thoughts on the game after you've had a couple of days to kind of digest it.
Yeah, you know, after the game, and I talked to the guys about it as well, but I felt I didn't prepare my kids well enough. You know, if we don't come out ready to play, which I don't feel we did early in the game and throughout the second quarter, you know, we won't win the game. You know, and so we weren't prepared, focused mentally to start that game, and so that's on me. I have to have those guys ready early to go and fight and battle early as soon as that ball's kicked off, and so. But, you know, that's a preparation thing, and so that's one thing we're working on right now. Yesterday we had a great practice to prepare for starting faster. So, you know, just getting our energy back is what we got to do.
Yeah, it's been kind of one of the things because I was able to join Rich on the broadcast last week, and it's, you know, just looking at the numbers and everything, it seems like we've been more of a second-half team, you know, through the first few games, and like you said, kind of maybe even digging yourself a little bit of a hole, and that was kind of what happened on last week, and just this time weren't really able to recover fully.
Right, we definitely dig ourselves in the hole early and often, it seems like. But you know, if we can just start off faster on both sides of the ball in the kicking game, we're gonna be all right. I think the thing is just trying not to let our emotions through pregame get too high and then come out and we're kind of a little bit dead. So we're working on those types of things as far as getting you know, when to come out and when to display our emotions and early, and you know, but that's the thing that we've got to experience before anything else as far as when to do it and when not to do it.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the game specifically. I mean, Texas Lutheran, we knew their run-based attack was going to be something that we're going to have to focus on, and you know, they were able to, you know, 360 yards on the ground. And another one of those tough games for the defense is like we had against Southwestern, where TOU had the ball for 40 minutes of game time, and that's, you know, anytime you put your defense in that situation, it's typically not a good thing.
No, it's never a good thing to be on the field for 40 minutes of the 60 minutes. But you know, it's a deal where we've got to help ourselves when we're on the field. You know, if we can make a stop, we were not on the field for 40 minutes. You know, and so we got to help ourselves and not miss tackles in certain scenarios, or get more push, or make a play on the back end in the secondary. Those things are going to help us. But if we allow ourselves not to make a play or not do our job, then we're going to be on the field for a while. So we just got to make sure we execute for 3 snaps, get off the field, and then we're not on the field for as long. You know, and our offense did a great job whenever they had the opportunity. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't on the offense. You know, it's like we pointed to the defense. You guys got to make sure we handle our business.
Right, and it was one of those things where it was kind of, you had spurts, kind of like the last few games really. You had a drive here or there where it was just like, man, the defense is off. They're going crazy. They're doing things. They're making plays. Arell had the pick 6. Cade made a big play on another time, but there was other times where, you know, it was just consistent. I think TOU had 3 or 4 drives of over 10 plays in the game. So it was just kind of one of those things to find that consistency on the defense throughout the game.
Yeah, it's a consistency deal, and not giving up the big play in certain scenarios. On third downs, I think we were 2 for, they were 8 of 10 or something like that, or for really good, really high number on third down. So we've got to execute the third down scenarios and not give up the big play and not play in spurts, because we've been talking about it for the last 3 weeks actually. It's a 4-quarter football game. It's not a, hey, I'm going to beat you for 6 plays and you can win the next 10. No, that's not how it works. You've got to win every single snap, and you've got to make sure you battle for 4 quarters, and that's what it takes.
All right, let's move into this week. Like we talked about, it is homecoming week. Another conference game this Saturday against McMurray. Kickoff is at 6 o'clock at Wildcat Stadium. Homecoming it was a lot of fun, a lot of, you know, extracurricular stuff going on outside the game, with especially on Saturday with all the banquets and parades and homecoming court and all that sort of thing. So, and when I was covering high school sports a few years ago, I always asked our coaches, during that week, is it more of a challenge with all the other stuff going on to kind of zone the guys in on, hey, we still have to play a football game Saturday night?
Well, it is in a certain extent, but in college there's always a lot of things going on anyways. As far as keeping the guys focused, they've got study hall, they've got to work on tutoring, they've got to get workouts, they've got to go to practice, they've got to go to class multiple times out of the day and still find time to eat and hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
And so it's always something going on. But with the added distraction, not really a distraction of homecoming, the added festivities, I don't think it really is going to affect our kids. Because they're just gonna go and do those things and hang out together, and it'll be kind of a bonding in certain scenarios, you know.
We'll talk a little bit about McMurray, another dual threat quarterback coming in. He had a pretty good game last week in the win over Belhaven, and that's sort of been one of the, I guess, Achilles' heels so far of the team. Grona last week, James Davis for Sol Ross, the kid from Southwestern. I mean, it's been one of those things where, like we talked about, it's certain drives where we do really well, and then other times they're able to take advantage.
Yeah, we're playing another good quarterback, and so if we can get in there and make sure that we contain the quarterback, keep him in the pocket, and do our job on the back end covering, and try to get a lot of pressure on him. It's one thing that we've been working on as well, is getting pressure on the quarterback. We can really neutralize him a little bit, and that's what we want to do. And they do have a 2-quarterback system that they've been using in spurts at times, and so don't know the rhyme and reason behind it, but we got to just definitely execute on the defensive side of the ball and try to eliminate him as much as we possibly can.
Right. Talk a little bit about our offensive game plan, at least, maybe not specific because you don't want to give anything away, obviously, but just the general thoughts on, like I said, offense has been kind of progressing through the last few weeks. Have been playing very well and putting up some good points and numbers and things like that. So is it just one of those things where you just got to let them do it?
I think we're starting to form an identity on offense that's actually a pretty aggressive style offense, and we're going to definitely take what the defense gives us. And so this week, more of our game plan is to try to aid the game, take what they give us, allow our defense not to be on the field as much, set the field position, those types of things. So we're just making sure that we take care of the ball for one, and execute what we're doing, and just take what the defense gives us. It's our biggest game plan.
And I know one of the things that you guys have really been trying to establish as well is kind of finding a consistent running game as well. Kind of struggled a little bit last week on the ground. So what do we? Is it just those things like you talked about, the execution thing, to kind of establish that this week to be a little bit more balanced in the offensive?
Yeah, we've got to be a little bit more balanced. We talked about it as a staff, and it wasn't that we just completely vacated our running game. We fell behind and felt that we needed to throw the ball a little bit more against the secondary that we were going against. But we just got to make sure we are balanced in a certain way, which we have been for the most part of this year, as far as establishing the run and making teams respect our run game on a consistent basis, and not just sit back and pass drop all day long.
Right. All right, folks. Well, like we talked about, lots of fun going on. Be sure to check the website, lacollege.edu. There's a big banner that says, "Let the good times roar." That's the theme for this year's homecoming. And you can find the schedule of everything. Got a golf tournament, banquets, parades, homecoming presentation, and, of course, the game at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. So be a part of it. Come join in. Even if you're an alumni or if you're just a fan and live in the area, it's going to be a lot of fun around campus all weekend long. Remember that the game will be on live stream. The game will be on the air, on the radio, 104.3 The Bridge with Rich Dupree, Doug Gann, and Al Quartermont as well. And, of course, you'll find the links to the live stream on our athletic website, lcwildcats.net, as it always is. So I know that's a lot of information I just threw at you, but it's nothing different than a normal week. It's just a little bit extra stuff going on because of homecoming. So be a part of it. Would love to see you around campus, and it's going to be a lot of fun. JC, thanks for joining me as always. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Brad Welburn. Have a good weekend.